welcome to the Infinite Endurance Network. I'm your host, Philip J. Sebastiani, and for those who are listeners to the show, that name is slightly different. I've decided to go a different direction with the podcast and give more of an umbrella term there because my hope is to bring to you more than just interviews, but also some race coverage here in the future. But before we get into all of that, I just want to give a little training update to how things have been going. So those who don't know, I sprained my ankle pretty bad about 6 weeks ago at the Paladuro trail run 50 miler. Sprained it at mile 6, decided to keep running. So the compounding of that extra 7 hours on it has made it very difficult to come back from that injury. But now I'm happy to say that I'm able to run with very little pain. My ankle is starting to warm up and it's starting to feel more like it did pre-Paladuro trail run. So unfortunately, I won't be able to run the Desert Solstice 24-hour, which was the biggest race on my calendar for 2025. But I'm looking forward to just getting healthy, and I have some big plans for 2026, which I'll share as we get through December. But grateful to be able to run, and I'm recording this a few days before Thanksgiving, so then that's brought me thoughts of what I really am grateful for. And really am grateful for support from listeners and from the community for this show. So thanks for those who tune in when I do post episodes, and thanks for those who've reached out when I've been dealing with this ankle injury. And I've spent so much time on the bike and I'm ready for something different. So I'm glad to be running a few miles almost every day. Also, I've been seeing a PT. It's been great. Shout out to Canyon Physical Therapy. They've really been taking care of me. I'm able to use their facilities, their Ultra G treadmill, their game ready hot and cold machine, and their cryo chamber. And they're all just really knowledgeable people. So I'm really grateful that I have those systems in place to get me back to running form now. And I think I'll be set up for a really good winter ahead, just building a really solid base for the plans I have in 2026. But back to why the name change. So a few weeks ago, I was at the Big Texas Ultra, and I had a lot of fun covering the race. And covering the race, I mean following the leaders, posting about the leaders, posting about positions, and getting more than just like a static cam of people just running by. Like I was running with people, videoing some transitions. I was on my bike following around, and really it garnered a lot of interest. And it was very fulfilling to provide people with these updates and just from my personal experience, it is really tough for race directors to do that themselves because they're directing the race. So it seems like a third party, usually a spectator, or in my case, even someone with an outlet like this can share those updates. So next weekend, on December 6th, I'm actually going to be live streaming with commentary Texas Outlaw Running's The Backland Last Man Standing. And so this all came about kind of after the race. I was hanging out with Ryan Hill and Ryan Roberts. We all were there that weekend cheering and filming, and we were kind of poking fun at what a possible name would be. And we talked about Texas Outhouse, which is just silly in itself. And then it turned into Cactus Outhouse. And then I was thinking more about how could this work with something I have already established. I know I don't want to put a whole another effort into a whole nother podcast or website or all this. I decided to rebrand it to the Infinite Endurance Network just to be a little more encompassing of not only interviewing folks, live race day coverage, and Texas is a state I think that gets forgotten a lot behind California, behind Arizona, and behind like Colorado in terms of the great racing that happens in the state. Texas has close to 150 ultra races a year, and that means there are thousands of runners, thousands of ultra runners in the state of Texas. So I think covering that is plenty, and I'm just really looking forward to doing my first one in that vein at the Backland Last Man Standing. Yeah, so that race starts Saturday, December 6th at 8 a.m., and you can expect live coverage via a few static cams and commentary because I am only a human. I joked about at that Big Texas Ultra, I only have an iPhone 14 and I caught all this footage. So we'll have a studio set up. We'll have a camera facing the start finish line. Those familiar with the Backland course, I'll have a camera at mile 2 when you come through camp. And then also down the road close to mile 1 where you also do the out and back. And then you cross over into the north side trails. So I think with those, as well as a little bit of on-field reporting, maybe by my wife or someone there who wants to operate a camera and interview folks, I think we can really capture the Backland and what it is, how it's grown. This is the 5th year of the race, and it is longer than the traditional backyard ultra, right? Usually it's 4.167 miles, but this is what I call Texas-sized, 4.5 miles. This race has a really big story behind it and the community and the people who show up year after year at it. I hope to capture some of those and see, so you all can see some of that. You can follow the live stream on YouTube. It'll be at Infinite Endurance Network. Texas All Running has already posted the links to all the streams on the website. I didn't want to string myself out, so there's only 4 streams up there, and I think the field this year has potential to go way past the current course record, which I believe is like 25 lands or 26 lands. So I'll be shooting each stream in 10-hour increments. So I think that's going to be a great year for that race. And I'm really excited to bring you all that coverage. You can really help me by sharing the show, liking, subscribing. I think we can grow this network, which really, that portion of the name came from meeting with the folks from Pickle Juice at the Big Texas Ultra who ran the Lone Star Aid Station. There was a cycling team there, and they used the opportunity network. And I remember the guy specifically saying the word network, and that just stuck with me that day. And I felt like, okay, that's exactly what I want this to be. Networking, we're connecting people. We're telling the stories of not only people in the front, but the people who this is their first ultra, or people who come back year after year, race after race, and just do their best. I think all those stories are worth sharing. So thank you for listening to this episode of the Infinite Endurance Network. I look forward to bringing you more stories in and around the state of Texas.